Hello, YouTube. What is going on? It's your boy GZTV here with the content for the day. We have a weekly track roundup. We're going to be talking about all the music that dropped this week. Nothing too big dropped. I could have reviewed Lil Durk's album or Kodak's, but I decided not to. I decided to just listen to a little bit of each of their albums, and by a little bit, in Kodak, I mean one song. I listened to like one song from there. And before you guys comment, I am missing Taylor Swift and Ice Spice. I really did want to listen to that track. I thought that would have been interesting, but I forgot for some reason to put it on my playlist. I listened through everything. I was like, you know what? We're just going to leave it as this. But Lil Durk has dropped his new album, Almost Healed. Pain and tragedy has defined so much of Lil Durk's life, and by natural extension, his music. This devastating losses he's experienced since rising to hip-hop stardom from Chicago's once nascent drill scene compound one another, to the point where even something as common as rap beef takes on a more ominous tone. With Almost Healed, he memorializes the deaths of his brother D-Thang and friend King Von, with therapeutic catharsis on his mind. After the introductory framing device by no less than Alicia Keys, the revelations and anecdotes behind certain songs contribute to what hopefully amounts to a healthy path through grief. With high-profile guests like Kodak Black and Morgan Wallen in the mix, the universality of life's trials and tribulations become clear. 21 Savage comes through on a track, and when he does, the lure of violence becomes more prominent. Similarly, seasoned hitmakers J. Cole and Future bring big energy, without departing too radically from the surrounding themes. Yet Durk doesn't dwell entirely on morbid subjects, addressing the comparatively lighter cruelty of a bad romance on certain songs in the project as well. I don't have too much to say about the project. He had, Future was pretty good, 21 Savage, decent. The Juice WRLD song was pretty good, and I'm not a huge fan of Morgan Wallen, but I guess when they get together, it makes pretty solid tracks. I don't know, man. Kodak Black was okay. I don't think this album was that good, and there hasn't really been an album that Durk has released over his career that I found super strong. I mean, 7220 was actually pretty good, but I don't know. Some of the other stuff he's been putting out, just not a huge fan of, and that's not a knock on Durk because I respect him. I've seen him in concert. He's a pretty decent performer. He definitely has his hits. He definitely has had his run, and he's still having a run, but personally, not a huge fan. Kodak Black dropped an album, Pistols and Pearls. I didn't really want to go through and listen to an entire Kodak Black album. I'm sorry. I mean, at this point in his career, I'm not really a huge fan of him as much. But for nearly a decade now, Kodak Black has navigated the rap game with no shortage of highs and lows. A lot of wins post-incarceration with a lot of big tracks. His 2022 album, Back for Everything, put the controversial yet exceedingly popular Florida rapper back in a position of prominence. So for Pistols and Pearls, an apparent finale for his longtime major label home base of Atlantic Records, he delivers a characteristically strong effort that speaks to his past as much as his future. He shrewdly front-loads the project with features from Sniper Gang associates like Gordito Flow and Vivissance, giving some deserved shine to the artist currently writing with him. ESTG and Lil Crix is they're both on my favorite track of the project, which is Dirt McGurk. Booming trio cut. He largely places focus back on himself for the duration, whether expressing an ice-cold worldview or sing-rapping about loyalty and love. His consistency plays undeniably on display. Piano-led trap ballads, a lot of pretty good highlights here. I listened to a couple of the songs. He opens up about loneliness and feeling emotionally adrift in ways rarely heard in hip-hop. Very open on this project, and it's not a bad project. I don't know how often I would revisit it and how often I'd go back, but it's really not that bad of a project. As we move into the next release, the most hyped up release in my opinion of the week, Yeat and Young Thug drop off a leaked, long-awaited track, My Wrist, produced by none other than Pierre Bourne. This track is amazing. Both of them bring a lot of character, a lot of their mumbo-jumbo vocal inflections. It is mumbo-jumbo, but their vocal inflections have been iconic. I mean, Yeat for probably the last 2 years, and Thug for the last decade almost. I mean, these two are iconic, and obviously Thug is in jail, so it's really nice to get a feature on here, and on this track, and yeah, it's really dope. Cool track. Diddy, City Girls, and Fabulous get together. This is kind of the undercard. I didn't care for a lot of these other tracks as much. It was pretty garbage, honestly. I mean, Diddy should probably just hang it up, but yeah, Dom Corleo dropped an album. I didn't really want to listen to much of it on my own. Obviously, I've heard Wake Up. I've heard Penthouse Shorty. I listened to S3X with Young KO because, I mean, I've heard him do a lot of work with Yeet, so I decided to check it out here. It was okay. I mean, Dom Corleo's not one of my favorite artists. I don't think he's one of those artists that can really hold up a consistency on an album. But it is what it is. I mean, he's dropped some really good singles over his career. He's only been doing this for a couple years, really. So, yeah, maybe he'll evolve his sound a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he'll just be another one of those underground guys that never really gets it out and gets into the mainstream. But he's definitely had some success. Shout out to Dom Corleo. Dominic Fike dropped Ant Pile. This song is garbage. He's actually getting ready to drop an album, but geez, Ant Pile was terrible. He's dropping an album July 7th, which is like 2 weeks from now. I don't really care for that. I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's probably going to be trash. I did not like this. Dominic Fike's really cool, by the way. I really liked him on like Euphoria and stuff. As an artist, I don't know, man. I think he'd be more of like a cover artist, honestly. And making his own songs, I'm not sure about it. Moneybagg Yo dropped a new song called Ocean Spray. It was actually kind of good. I actually really like this song from Moneybagg Yo. Moneybagg Yo's dropped some really good songs over the last couple years, and I would say this is one of them. This might add to the list. I don't have too much to say about it. I like how melodic he's getting with his voice. I like how much fun he's having with it. ESTG dropped a track, Turn the Streets Up. He was on Kodak's album, and he dropped his own song, and that wasn't bad either. I mean, it was a pretty typical ESTG cut. Tizo Touchdown dropped Rock, Paper, Strippers, one of the worst songs I've heard him make. He's got a really interesting sound. Like, I'm interested to see where his career will take him, but this song in particular is not great. Too Rare dropped One of One, Back It Up Part 2. Too Rare is killing it. He might be a double XL freshman. I mean, he has had that sort of run. This song was cool. I really like how bouncy, how New York, how drill his sound is. I really like it. Glorilla dropped Liquor Some, which is a song we heard on TikTok. It's catchy. It's cool. Glorilla definitely has a spot in the rap game, and she's doing a lot for the female rap game. She really is. It's not often that I really mess with female rappers, but she's doing pretty good. Jay Worthy and Rock Marciano dropped a new project, Nothing Bigger Than the Program. Rock Marciano, I've listened to a lot of his features with, Griselda artists and whatnot, and he's pretty good, so I decided to listen to this. So, the appeal of Rock Marciano's productions is the way they turn the grit and heaviness of street rap into something dreamy and featherlight. Worthy's cadence is deliberate, Rock's is higher and more fragmented, and together they take you on a tour through a workaday underground where they get rich enough to relax, but not so rich that they have to worry about it, at least not too much. In a culture that favors the young, they savor the wisdom and assurance of age, and while you sense that their dark days are behind them, they still summon a menace potent enough to make you wonder what skeletons might be rattling through their closets. You get Bun B on this, ASAP Ant, I think Absol's on here, Corrupt. A decent amount of really good features on this project. Last thing we're going to talk about is That Mexican OT dropping a song with Paul Wall. Paul Wall is honestly super underrated. Like, he is a Houston legend. He has been on so many tracks, so many projects that I'm a huge fan of. Obviously, he was, he made tracks with Kanye early in his career. He made tracks with Travis early in his career. And you guys know how I look at those artists, man. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. It was a really cool track. Houston rap is amazing. Like, it's like, him, Screw, I think UGK might be Memphis. I can't think of where UGK. Lil Flip, I think, was his name. There was a lot of really good acts out of Houston, and Paul Wall is definitely one of them. And I definitely appreciate what he did on just this Johnny Dang song with That Mexican OT and Drody. But yeah, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm getting ready to talk about Dexter, so you don't want to miss that. And that'll be pretty much the content for today. I will try to stream sometime in the evening. I'm not sure if I'm going to, if I even feel like it. I kind of want to just relax, but we'll see how this goes. I still have to go to a grad party, so, man, I don't want to go, but